Namaste, angels. I'm going to do a client reading for one of my repeat clients. I've read for this couple before. I've also performed Divine Light Cleanse on the Divine Feminine before. I know the masculine had, anticipated purchasing one as well. And it's a gay male couple. So this may be a little different than some of the others that you've seen me do, only in the sense that there appear to be, to have turned up, pretty much from what I hear, some males who are thinking that they are the divine masculine in their union, should they even have one, because they're male. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. That would be, as I've told my, quote unquote followers, that would be an example of somebody who has no idea what they're talking about, to the extent that they don't even understand or realize that they themselves are the divine feminine. There are no divine masculine going on YouTube and other places doing what the feminine do. That is our assignment. The leading, the initial process, the first to be awakened, all of that falls in the divine feminine, not the masculine. And none of this is gender specific. None of this is sexuality specific. We are all androgynous at the soul level. And so that is flat out wrong. That if you're a man, you're the divine masculine. If you're a woman, you're the divine feminine. That's not how it works. Okay, so my friend and client is the divine feminine in his union. And I'm reading for him and he and his divine masculine, beginning with my Tony Carmine Solano Universal Love Oracle and Golden Memories. Golden Memories guides us to take the positive and things that brought us joy from our experiences in life, and leave the baggage behind. Let it burn, as they say, or as Usher said. Not as most recently what Let It Burn has come to be known in connection to Usher, but his original meaning, like the song, let it go. And opening to blessings with Mother Mary. Golden Memories and abundance. This is abundance in all forms. Love, money. And those are all the things we can have when we let go of our baggage. Like when we carry stuff, there's a saying, like if you're building a house, say the house is, imagine your relationship as a house. If you take the bricks from your old house and use them to form your new house, you're going to pretty much end up with the same house. So the idea, again, is to let go of these things. And opening to relationship, which guides us to improve or work on the relationship we have with ourselves if we're finding difficulty in our relationships with others. Kind of like the Nine of Pentacles, so it's not like a card to be down about. Even if it does relate to you in that way, as you have to, work on yourself. It's learning to enjoy being with you, spending time with you, enjoying you, loving you, liking you. Golden Memories. I'll go one more. And it's dreams. And I think this is all about your dreams coming true. It can mean sometimes for me, messages and things that come in dreams, either between, one another, the couple, sometimes from the universe, particularly Archangel Michael. He likes to visit in dreams. But I think this is about your dreams, for the most part, coming true right now. If, again, you're able to let go of like past hurt, resentment, regret. Dreams. I'm going to cut. And when I say you, and it's not attributed to, one particular archetype or the other, then I mean, you and or your divine masculine. Like this, I'm just shuffling. This could apply to either of you or both. This indicates the rise, right? That you could be on as individuals, but also that the union would be on, the ascension of the union, of the relationship. The overall energy is embrace. And I think this is about you guys like completing one another. I tried to hold back from saying that because, as a phrase, I don't really like the idea of like, oh, you complete me. Like, no, we have to be able to stand on our own, as individuals. But it's in the sense that there's a difference between needing and wanting people. And that's not to say that either, is that there's something wrong with either. That's not what I mean. But there's a difference. And this is about needing and wanting. About feeling like, truly feeling like I can go on by myself, yes, but to have that feeling of wholeness, I need and I want this other person with me. The textbook meaning of the card, it's not about a hug or a couple at all. It's about one person. So similar to that relationship card, and again, the Nine of Pentacles, one person with their inner masculine and feminine coming together harmoniously. So balance and liking yourself, loving yourself, enjoying being with yourself. This will be the divine feminine about himself, the divine masculine with regard to him, the divine masculine with regard to himself, and with regard to the union. Overall, the outcome what the masculine would have the feminine to do. So this is again from the masculine perspective to the feminine. What he would have him to do toward the union. This is what the masculine is willing to himself to do. And this is what the universe would have the two to do, like surrender or contribute toward facilitating, so to speak, the union. Feminine, inner child. So there's something from your past. I think it's found its way into your more recent past, and clearly your present if it's showing up. But I think there's something that started in childhood, some sort of like sentiment, feeling, fear that was initiated then, an event or something. And poor relationships, even in cases where we might try to like snuff out, bury, these feelings or whatever, poor relationships still would find, the residue from them still would find their way in and to this child, to like continue to sort of pile on to now where you've reached the point where it has to be addressed. It's heavy now. It's become it's like a burden, which would make sense with golden memories having shown up. This card also an indication that there is an air sign involved, often particularly in Aquarius for me. But I think it's a Gemini this time. And actually, I'm pretty sure it is, because again, this is one of my Facebook friends. So I think we've discussed before that the divine masculine is Gemini. But this air here in the background and the stars on the young girl's crown chakra, third eye chakra, and throat chakra are what say to me, not only Aquarius because of the stars, but air sign, right? Our need to communicate. But if something's happened and that voice has been snuffed out, right? This child has something to say, sees things, understands things, but has something to say that hasn't been able to come out. So this has to be addressed. The divine masculine with regard to the feminine. Divine guidance. This, first of all, I want you to see the infinity symbol here, because that's to remind you that it's never going to end. I think this child needs to understand that maybe some other people left, maybe some other emotions left. Maybe you had to leave some other people, places, and things to which you were attached, and that is what left the scar here. But this doesn't go away. This is infinite. Okay, you see here? This is forever. Like all eternity. A forever that we can't even conceive with the human mind. Throughout all aspects of existence. This is, right? And then with this moon here, so moons represent femininity, right? Represent the aspects of the universe that are female, that is the woman, right? And the sun is the man and that sort of thing. But also, at least for me, not just femininity, but feminine energy of surrender, the ability to surrender to divine will and to divine understanding, and to acknowledge and face your ever-changing self and DNA as it continues to spiritually grow. So this would be the divine masculine, seeing all that in you, but also recognizing that it's something from which he too can draw and learn and grow with you. And again, that it will always exist. A lot of the same colors in these cards too, but for the yellow, right, and the brightness. That's all that's missing from the divine guidance card. So it's kind of like this is, little you, and this is grown up you. Here together. With all this blue and red and purple and green, white. Only the brightness of this child seems to have been dimmed here. But that's something that you can always fix, and you'll never not be able to redeem that, because this is infinite. The masculine about himself, sorrow. This is pain, resentment, regret, and it's actual sorrow. This is, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm sorry I contributed to some of what's happening here. I'm sorry I couldn't help you to fix it. I'm sorry I didn't know, I didn't realize you were going through this. This has to be released as well, along with what's not a golden memory. Anything that's, a negative emotion or a negative cord of attachment on both sides has to be released. The divine masculine about the union itself, the mystic. This card is it's more air sign, but water as well. Air and water. Masculine may have some water in his chart. So even if he's a Gemini, maybe like a water sign ascending or moon. But the mystic, and in this placement representing the union here from the masculine's perspective, is about, similar to what I said here, it's about like that knowing, that inner knowing. You just know, you're just cognizant, you just know that this exists, and you know what is and what isn't. You just know. And one of the things that is, you know, is of course the connection. Is and will always be. Overall, the gateway, having reached these points, is what allows you together to go through the gateway. I don't see either of you going through alone. I see you going through together. And I see more air and water here too. This looks like a pool of water. Here's more stars and stuff. And then here's the infinity symbol again too, right? Where these two circles form sort of this 8-like symbol to show again that there's a connection. It doesn't end. It just keeps revolving around and around and around. And it too is the same colors in a different way. You got your yellow on the outside, and your blue and your red and your white on the inside. What would the masculine have the feminine to do toward this working on himself? Working on improving the relationship with himself, and not just his grown self, this self too. Little divine feminine too. Knowing that the relationship with him is always going to be there. You can take a moment, and I say moment because time is relative. Some people would argue it doesn't even exist. So a moment can be, maybe you just need a few minutes. Maybe you need a day. Maybe you're going to have a revelation. Boom, I know what's bothering me for the past 20 years. Let me, release this somehow. All of these things can happen. Whatever moment it is you need to connect with you and like you, love you, enjoy spending time with you, whole you. What's the masculine willing to do? The masculine has come to a place, because he hasn't always been there, where he is counting his blessings. There may have even been a time where he didn't think he had any blessings, or blessings could be his. Where he felt sort of locked out of that process. And it can have something to do with maybe with the religious aspect, with being a gay male, or any part of any marginalized group, and just feeling unwelcome could lead to this, like, well, people like me don't get blessings. And so after divine guidance, or with divine guidance and growth, having reached this place of not only knowing that, yes, I get blessings too, but beginning, finally being able to count how many and be thankful for how many and appreciate how they just keep coming in. What would the universe have the two of you to do? Reflection. So what you're going to do is kind of what I talked about, I think, in the beginning, maybe when I was talking about this child, is you need to think back. You need to think back to where some of, your issues, concerns, the things that help to mold you, good, bad, or indifferent. You don't want to look at them all. You're going to want to discern, what have I brought with me to present? What do I not want to bring with me to my future? What can I not bring with me to my future? You're both going to have to do that. And then let go of those things that you realize are holding you back. Outcome. Boom! Expectancy. All of this will lead you to the understanding of when we put out our expectations to the universe and impose our expectations upon the universe, place our expectations upon the universe, we limit it in what blessings it might otherwise bestow on us. That's called blocking your own blessings. So, and if he is a Gemini, that might be why he does that. I don't know what your excuse would be. I kid. But it's this sense of sort of mapping out every detail. Like the universe needs me to map out for it what to do and how to do it. As if our minds are even merely as vast as the universe and it needs our help. That's what expectancy is. So you got to stop that. And of course, we're to, make intentions and send them out in the universe. So definitely let the universe know what it is you want. But when we're overly specific, right? And we say, I want this, do it this way. And then this is going to happen. And this is definitely something that Geminis do. We'll the whole day, whole day's events will play out in our head. I'm going to say this, and then the person's going to respond. They're going to say that, and then we're going to walk off, and then this is going to happen. Let all that go. I need to go from here to there, universe. I'd like to go from here to there. That's my intention. So this way, if the universe wants to take you from here to all the way out there instead, it can. If it wants to put you on a plane to get you there, it can. If it wants you to walk, we shouldn't try to stipulate how, when, or in what capacity the universe bestows blessings upon us. So that's what that means. Okay. And that was, again, from the perspective of the divine masculine and his higher self. And now we're going to see what else the universe, this can be like what the angels want to whisper, what they want us to know, what's coming up, that they're, into which they're willing to give us a glimpse and that sort of thing. And so I'm going to go to what, I call hashtag creepy deck. And I'm beginning with true love. And opening to long distance. This can speak to separation. And it may be to an extent. I mean, that's sort of relative too. Maybe because time is. Separation to me is sort of relevant too. It's like a moment. And it's something that we manifest. So how we feel about it and how it plays out is also connected to our manifestations. But I see travel, although there is a travel card specifically in this deck. I see travel, movement. It could be metaphorical. I see movement though. Moving. Also, as it relates to the relationship, the union, it's about going the distance, right? Surviving, making it. Because it's real, right? True love. Long distance and freedom. Somebody's got to break away. So again, this can be about moving. And that doesn't mean apart from one another, you know, but breaking, I see like financial freedom. I see like breaking with tradition, breaking a silence, like all these different kinds of freedom. And like that's going to take you a long way. Freeing yourself from like these chains that bind, these things that are holding you back. Freedom not at the top. I'm going to cut. Fair male. So fair male for me, ironically, because red hair tends to represent the light for me, but this guy comes through very, you know, karmic-ish. It reminds me of like this card reminds me of like the devil in the tarot. So this could be like to what we're represent, to what we're bound, and from what we need to break away. Not necessarily a person, you know, an energy, again, like the devil card represents feeling trapped and out of ideas of how to move forward. Yeah, fear, negative chords. Overall energy is young male. I don't know if one of you is younger than the other, you know, if it's like a May-December sort of situation, or again, if the masculine is in fact a Gemini, young male could represent the energy of Gemini, or, you know, because Gemini is the youthful, more youthful of the air element, similar to how like Virgo would be the more youthful of the earth element, and Pisces of water. Like my daughter's 15. She's a Scorpio. She's like an old lady. But she's like my mother sometime, you know, they have a more mature personality. So yeah, Geminis, we can be silly and forever young, all that sort of stuff. So I feel like this could represent the divine masculine here. The divine couple. The recent past, the near future. The masculine's higher self. Blocks to the union. What the feminine can do, what the masculine can do. Further advice from the universe, or maybe what the universe would recommend they both do, and the outcome. Divine couple. Travel. Then I say I felt like you were going somewhere when I looked at the long distance. I feel you moving or traveling or both, going somewhere. Across water, quite possibly. Both pictures had water in them. Maybe somewhere tropical. Honeymoon. This could be your honeymoon. I don't know what, never mind. But yeah, it could be something like that. A celebration of the two of you. The recent past. Wallflower. So this too could represent Gemini. I mean, you guys, or at least you do, I know you watch my collective reading, so you know that I tend to feel that this is like, this person represents like the energy of like a Capricorn, or a Scorpio. Again, that more mature and reserved, or ironically, a Gemini, because although we do have that contrast with the more reserved and the more mature and the silly and youthful, what they share or can share is this sort of ability to be like the center of attention, but still be alone and want to be alone. It's not like, I mean, we can get up and dance with this woman if we want to, you know, get up and dance with this guy that's over here if we want to sit here. I'm at the party, but I don't want to participate. And I don't want to be bothered with you right now. That's that kind of energy that comes out of the card for me. So this would be a recent past, like one or both of you, or maybe a situation or a circumstance, you know, like not engaging, not participating fully, or not giving the, you know, the all. The near future. Beauty queen. So this is feeling better about yourself. Maybe that's part of what's going on here too. Like I'm going to fall back and hold myself back because I don't feel like at my best, you know, at my strongest, at my best looking, my most attractive. But this means that that's turned around, right? Beauty queen is the complete opposite of that. This is, I'm center stage and, you know, I know it, you know it, and that's the way it should be. The masculine's higher self. Ice queen. Yeah, I'm thinking he's an air sign. Again, maybe a Gemini. And Ice Queen in this deck tends not to just be Ice Queen, but specifically Venus for me. And Venus is, in fact, a ruler of Gemini. He's in his element, so I can't knock it, you know. Certainly no hard feelings against Geminis or air signs at all. I'm a double air. I'm a Aquarius moon too. So I know what it is to be like this. But this can also be part of distance. If he's feeling again, like not completely engaging, or I'm going to turn my back. You know, that's kind of what we do. We have periods when we do that. So it could be a moment. I know I keep saying these moments. It could be a moment, a fleeting moment. Remember, this is the outcome soon. Now, also, all that said, there's super awesomeness attached to Venus and the Ice Queen. Venus is the goddess of both love and money. So that's also meanings here. Prosperity, abundance, love, represented here with the Ice Queen for the masculine's higher self. Or the masculine's higher self here represented by the Ice Queen, rather. Blocks to the union. Work. Somebody works too much, I think. I think this is actual labor. Like sometimes I pull this card and it's about the need to work for the union. And it can be that, you know, working on the union. It can be that too, because again, one or both of you weren't completely engaged here. And maybe needed a moment to yourself. That's okay. So it could be, this card could in part mean, okay, now it's time to get back to work on making things happen here with the union. But also I feel that this is connected to like an all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy sort of thing. Somebody may be working their butt off, which is good and admirable, but remember that we need time for play too. What can the feminine do? Feminine, in many respects, doesn't have to do anything, right? This is happening regardless. This is destiny. So just sort of sit back and allow. Surrender. That's what you can do. What about the masculine? Communication. Well, that's what we're best at. But sometimes the back is turned. So what he can do is, turn around and face you and his world. Again, beauty queen sitting right next to that. So feeling more confident and powerful very, very soon, the near future. Able to get his point across to whomever it has to get across and communicate whatever he has to communicate to whomever. Further advice from the universe. Open relationship. Be, out and about, basically. This is freedom. This is freedom. It's not like open relationship, like we got to invite somebody in. That's not the message that's coming through. This is freedom. This is being each individual, being them whole selves, their whole selves, and then coming together. Like how I said in that embrace card, like I need and I want, like in order to be an actual fully working component, we got to come together. And, both be us as a unit too. And that's what's coming through this for me as well. This is also, I can be me and my personality, and you can be you and your personality, and you can do things on your own, and I can do things on my own. I can have a vision, dreams that look this way, and you could have them that look that way. And this still remains here. Sort of like the divine guidance card, right? The connection still remains here for like forever. It's infinite. Outcome. Young female. Young female is now, I'm like, is this you? Young female is about approaching one another and the union and life in general from this place of lightheartedness and not being overly uptight and overthinking everything and overanalyzing everything and working all the time. And this is, being young and playful and loving. I just picked up the young male card. And this was underneath him. So dark male. But yeah, this is like, like two kids is what the union needs to be, or how you guys need to approach yourself. You're like, lighten up, basically. Lighten up. Dark male came through though. That's one of my favorites. Okay. I'm going to go to the Angel Tarot. And with the Angel Tarot, I'm beginning with the World. And Archangel Michael. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude, and the path toward enlightenment. So the World is about, like, for me, like a long, sometimes very arduous, difficult, trying circumstance, time, period in your life. It can be a relationship. It can be, a, living condition or work condition. You've been working at this place for 10 years. You knew 9 years ago you needed to go and you didn't. Or, the same applies to a relationship, and not just romantic relationships, friendships, relationship with family and friends. Like, you needed to move away and distance yourself or repair the relationship or do something, but it couldn't stay like it was, but you left it like it was anyway. So now the universe steps in to help to like ease you out of that situation since you didn't come out of it on your own. And that's the energy of the World. It can require patience. So sometimes it comes in and we begin to move into a new space and we get all excited and we're happy, like, oh yeah, life is changing. And then it starts to take a while and you're like, what's up? What's happening? The World can require patience in that way. It's very much like the Tower, with that one exception. The Tower is abrupt, boom, I'm coming through, I shake up your whole life. It changes overnight, that's it. This is more Venezing, and it can involve a third energy and or person, being a major arcana card number 21 equaling 3. Opening to the 8 of air. So this is about that illusion of being trapped and stuck, like I was talking about the devil energy before. This is the same kind of thing. An illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, being afraid to take action. This can also be the difference that I described between the wallflower and the beauty queen, right? When you get your confidence, things change. Then you can free yourself from some of these restricting energies and situations. But opposite the world, I'd say, yeah, with something, it was some sort of circumstance in which you felt stuck, that Archangel Michael and, the universe comes in to help, okay, let me help you out of this feeling of being stuck, or this situation. 8 of air and opening to the Hermit. So maybe it requires some going within too. The Hermit represents the sign of Virgo, or other earth sign. And it's about the need to spend quiet time alone in meditation, to do some spiritual teaching and discovery. You will be both the teacher and the student, right? You're going within to learn you and to teach you. Sort of like the nine, I was going to say the 9 of earth. This too is a 9 of earth, but the minor arcana 9 of earth is about loving you, enjoying spending time with you. So this too, but it's really, it's on a more spiritual level too. It's about coming to some enlightenment. So this can be where, again, you discover of what do I need to let go? What is it that I need to make sure I carry with me always? But that reflection that the two of you need to do, that can be why the Hermit is showing up. How do I break out of this situation? How did I get here? Sometimes to know where we're going, we got to know where we've been. That can be the case too. The Hermit. I'll go one more. Boom. It's the devil, ego, with Archangel Jophiel. A false sense of entrapment. You are not stuck. Being overly focused on material things. So this can be worrying about money. Maybe that's why somebody's working themselves real hard, or at least I felt so. A negative or fear-based thoughts. So we need to give those cares to the angels, to God, to the universe. Exercise some faith. Hermit back. I'm going to cut. Five of fire. Competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. 5 of fire, since you watch me regularly and have been for a while now, that it's 5s in general about change and the need for like energy to be cleared out and changed, similar to 10s, but also that as opposed to the 5 of air, the 5 of fire for me tends to be more so about close friends and or family. Like if we're having conflicts, our conflicts are with them or ourselves, right? Well, let's include ourselves too, like an inner conflict, inner turmoil. Overall energy is the Queen of Water. Queen of Water is tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving. She's also a water sign or somebody with those attributes, or at least taking on those attributes right now. Most directly associated, specifically the Queen of Water as opposed to the Page or the King, with the sign of Scorpio. So since I've mentioned Scorpio a couple times, maybe somebody has some Scorpio energy within them or in their chart. Again, the rising sign or moon sign can also be showing up because, speaking of moon, today there is a Scorpio moon. So that can just be that, universal energy coming through. In any case, relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. Masculine, the 4 of fire, contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, and the successful completion of a project. This can be about commitment. Well, most importantly, it's about peace, right? Contentment, feeling good, being emotionally happy. But it can be about commitment, marriage. So since I blurted out honeymoon earlier, that could come into play. A new home, moving. Again, I talked about moving. All of those could be causes for the 4 of fire to show up. Surrounded by the 9 of fire. So even where you are feeling like you don't have, like you lack the strength, the confidence, or you're feeling trapped, don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. In the masculine subconscious, the Ace of Air, which is a card of victory, first and foremost, brilliant new ideas and inspirations, seeing the truth of a situation and a challenging beginning. So it's a challenging beginning. And I associated that with the fact that the Ace of Air, as opposed to the other aces, because they all mean new beginnings, right? All aces. The Ace of Air tends to mean like the road here was difficult, but that's evident from the world having shown up, right? That something was, there's some sort of circumstance was trying to us, but we made it through. So we're here. So then from my perspective, it's like it's a beginning nonetheless. I don't see the need to even have this on the card. Because the fact is I made it, right? I'm victorious, like the Ace of Air means. And so I get my new beginning just like everybody else. Ace of Air, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. The feminine, crowning the feminine, the 9 of Earth. So I've been talking about the 9 of Earth since I started the reading the whole time. Here it is for you. Enjoying life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, and successful self-employment. So the 9 of Earth, as I said several times before it showed up, is about spending time with you and, you know, enjoying you, loving you, liking you, having fun with you. Surrounded by the 10 of Air. It's the end of a difficult situation. See how we have these 2 here, right? It ends. You got your 10 here. Here's your 11, right? Aces in cards, they're 1s or they're 11s, right? There's your 10, there's your ace, or there's your 10, there's your 1, right? Because 10 is the last number. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. So we're not going to say, you know, have that mindset of, oh, last time this happened and last time that happened, or these things usually go this way. Embrace the change. Expect things to get better now. Right? So that whatever was negative before, that's not happening anymore. We've come to a new place. Somebody may be recovering from an addiction, and that doesn't necessarily mean substance abuse. It could be any sort of codependency, right? Any sort of toxicity. That's coming to an end too. In the feminine subconscious, the Knight of Earth. The Knight of Earth is loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. It's time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. The Knight of Earth is he's a slow and steady wins the race sort of guy. You know, between the tortoise and the hare, he's the tortoise. Right? The tortoise was way behind the hare. He still won. And that's very Knight of Earth. It's like very methodical and planning things out, and maybe similar to Gemini in that case, because again, we're ruled by the same planet, Mercury. In the case of a Virgo, for example. So maybe that's where all of that, we got to think things through. We got to, use our logic as opposed to maybe emotions and stuff. Knight of Earth does better at using their emotions and warmth than an air sign. So it's slow and steady wins the race. Like just because things are moving slowly. So similar to what I was saying with the world, and that sometimes we got to exercise some patience. It may be like, something happened and we were like, yes, I'm on my way now. And then we hit a lull and we're going, what's going on? Like things are still happening. You just might not be able to see them. The Knight of Earth is also a Capricorn. I mentioned Capricorn a few times today too. Somebody may be one of those ascending or rising or having those traits. Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. This is also about abundance in a material sense, which can be a home again. Abundance in a material sense and love too. Love too. And when I'm doing a specifically love reading or love spread and the court cards of the earth element show up, to me, similar to what I was saying about the long distance card and the relationship going a long way, that demonstrates, longevity. The Knight of Earth tells me this, the relationship can thrive and survive a long, long time. Go a long way. It can go the distance, the long distance. Crowning, strength. So this is Leo. Is the feminine a Leo? Feminine might be a Leo. Like I said, we're Facebook friends. I'm thinking the feminine might be a Leo. In any case, whether he's a Leo or anybody's a Leo that's involved in this situation, the strength card does represent the sign of Leo or other fire signs, Sagittarius, Aries, and it shows up to remind us that we have, the power that we need. We should be more confident. We should be 9 of air because we can do whatever it is we need to do. We like ourselves. We have a good relationship with ourselves. Some things that were getting in our way, there were blocks. Yeah, but, that we didn't have control over. It doesn't matter. They're ending. And, we're paced. We're on pace to get where we need to go. At the root or your foundation, the 10 of fire. So another indication of something on its way out for the new beginning to come in. Too much work. What did I say about the work? Somebody's working their butt off. I knew it. Accept help from others. Help can just be time. Time, energy, effort. Right? Making time for yourself too. Accept help from others. Life is out of balance. So I talked about balance as well. And, the need to sort of try to maintain that. Because if not, that can, it can lead to stress-related health concerns. High blood pressure, things of that nature. Even headaches. If we're doing too much. We feel like the weight is all on us. It's on our shoulders. Like Atlas, right? We're carrying the world all alone, all by ourselves. And it's at the foundation, so it can be here, it can be here, it can be both, having, felt this before. But again, this is coming to an end. This is coming to an end, and you're getting your new start. And you have the strength to make it through, the rest, the stretch. At the heart of the matter, the Page of Air. Logical, honest, impulsive, and curious is the Page of Air. The Page of Air is also a Gemini to me. Pages are the younger, of the tarot. The page tends to represent a person that is younger or youthful. Again, for me, of the air element, or in general, of the air element, the more youthful is the sign of Gemini. But this can also apply to an Aquarius or even a Libra. Logical, honest, impulsive, and curious is the Page of Air. Challenging information, delays, or changes to plans. Truth delivered without tact. So there can be a plan to move, for example, and it's taking more time than we would have hoped. But the Knight of Earth is on it. He's going to get there to the new house. Page of Air is also known for truth bombs. They just come out and spit it. And it's not a malicious way. It's not like I'm going to, hurt your feelings. Even says here, right? Logical, honest, impulsive, curious, almost childlike, right? Particularly Gemini. And so they just blurt stuff out. And sometimes it's hurtful. You know, like in that movie with Jack Nicholson when he says, you can't handle the truth, when they're in that court. I don't remember what the movie was. I remember it was Jack Nicholson. Anyway, you know, the truth can be difficult to swallow. But we have the page of air crossing the ace of air, which would indicate there may be some coming someone's way. But with strength crowning, both the truth teller and the receiver can, you know, get through it, whatever it is. So now I'm going to add some romance cards to these, beginning with calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. And opening to soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. Isn't that cool how that just happened? Soulmate. And honeymoon. They must have heard me. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Opposite the soulmate. That's very nice. And it's traveling across water again. I keep seeing this water. And the moon. Yeah, I still say you could be going on vacation together, moving, both. Of course, honeymoon associated with marriage, getting married. It can be an actual honeymoon. Soulmate, I'm going to cut early. I want to see what's happening here. I'm impulsive and impatient. Getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. Wow. The overall energy is wedding. This situation involves marriage. So the cards heard me talking about wedding, or I felt them before they showed up. Atop the Four of Fire. This could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. And there is a couple here that one might say is in wedding attire. With the woman with this long white dress and the masculine or the male in some sort of formal looking attire. Atop the Nine of Fire. You can keep going because why? It's worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. You can persevere. You can keep pushing through. You'll make it. Atop the Ace of Air, reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. So this may be where I felt distance between the two of you. That coming to an end too. Maybe where Venus, where the Ice Queen had her back turned, because this could certainly represent Venus and the Ice Queen too, the Ace of Air, turning around again to communicate, as we saw on the other spread. Top the Nine of Earth, children. Your love life is being affected by children. That may be, but I think also, as I said in the other spread, with the hashtag creepy deck, having had the overall energy of young male and an outcome of young female, I think that you guys are the children. And if you're not, then it's saying that you need to be. I just heard siblings though, too. There can be a situation with somebody's siblings or something as well that's somehow impactful. Atop the Ten of Air, separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. But remember, this is what's coming to an end, right? This difficulty, quite possible. This difficulty and perhaps pain. The Ten of Air can be about backstabbing too. That's coming to me now too. In the traditional tarot, on the Rider-Waite card, it's a man laying flat on his face with 10 swords in his back, is how the Ten of Swords is illustrated. And it's a card of betrayal and backstabbing. So that too would, if that came into play here and maybe cause a separation, that too coming to an end. And all right, I want to say anytime I have separation and reconciliation in the same spread, it's similar to what I was saying before. Like time is relative, separation is relative. It's a moment, but it doesn't really exist. Like we manifest it, we, cause it to become an actual thing. And particularly where it's together here, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. But what was also coming through to me, I don't know if the masculine has any children, but that's like another potential meaning of this. Or children, or maybe somebody for whom he feels responsible, somebody that he helps to take care of. Maybe that's what the siblings come in. He feels obligated or something. And maybe you don't know everything about that. That could be part of the truth that's coming out and what, ends the difficulties. The fact that everything's out in the open, like that other card before where I said it's about you guys being like your whole true selves, each separately in order to be together. It's not really about an open relationship. That could be coming into play too. And this can also be an additional meaning of the young male and or young female that was the outcome can have something to do with these children too and whatever they represent. Okay. I hope that I was, clear about the reconciliation and separation. So like, forget this. Don't worry about this. Because I wanted to get it out before I forgot to say it. But again, I was hearing at the same time like this stuff about the children. Okay. Atop the Knight of Earth, romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. Atop Strength, release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. So where I was saying that World card equaling a 3, it can involve another energy, another person. That can be an ex, like a physical ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, ex-husband. But this can also be about the need to speak your truth too. Like release your expressive, whatever your sentiments are, that may need to come out. And for me, those of you who watch me, which I know this will definitely apply to you in that case, the X without the E, the X on this release your X card can be like release your capital X. And capital X came from Saint Andrew, who is a martyr. He was murdered for, he was persecuted and murdered for his belief, for his defense of Jesus. And they were going to crucify him, so not unlike they killed the way they killed Jesus. And he said, I don't deserve to be on the cross. Put me on an X. And for me, that's represented like living and dying, doing whatever you've got to do on your own terms. So again, being your whole true self is releasing your capital X. All right. At the root here atop the 10 of Fire, your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. So it's sort of like Ace of Air, like it's a soulmate nonetheless, whether it's the way you would have designed it or mapped it out in your head, things are turning out, how they were meant to. At the heart of the matter, here atop the Page of Air, past life relationship, you've known each other before. So there is some sort of truth bomb, I think, associated with a former relationship. And maybe speaking it will release it. Maybe that's how you let it go. Children may be involved. But I'm still sticking to also in terms of reconciliation and coming back together and how to interact with one another. We need that, lightheartedness So also still representing you in terms of your reconciliation in particular. And like all roads lead to this in the end, basically. I have to laugh. You know how music comes on in my house when I do these readings? So I think it may have been on and I didn't notice. Maybe the angels were trying to get my attention and I didn't notice because I was trying to focus here too. But what's on is Patti LaBelle. Live, it sounds like, which is weird. Singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And you know how they'll have that, if you know the lyrics to that song, you can look them up. But also, of course, the rainbow could be representative of a homosexual union here too. All right, from the hashtag creepy deck to the masculine. Family. So this is what he wants to create with you. And again, these children may be involved too. Like there may be somebody for whom he feels responsible that may also be joining your family. You, freedom. You got to free yourself of like the fear and pain, this separation, because you manifested, you know, the distance and all that kind of stuff. Regret, resentment, lack of confidence, like it's all holding you back. So let all those things go. Worry about money and things like that. Let go of all of it, and just go about your life feeling free, like nothing bothers you. It's such a change, such a change. I mean, you'll thank me later. The angels to the masculine. Ace of Fire, an exciting new opportunity, career advancement. Change your life now. The Ace of Fire is about following our passions. So sure, it can be career. It can be people too, about whom we're passionate. Going after our dreams and having a brand new start at them with the Ace of Fire. But it's about, when it's the Ace of Fire, it's about stuff that we really, you know, love. We're really passionate about this. This is the career of my lifetime. This is the mate of my, you know, of my life. The love of my life. This is, you know, it's always what we dreamed of, and we're getting a chance to actually have it. Ace of Air is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries as well, or somebody taking on those traits or attributes. For you, from the angel deck, Awakening with Archangel Gabriel. So it's another 3. You might have to look at a situation in a different way. Right? Look at it in a different way. The way I just described this, for example, where I said there could be a child or something, a person or something for which or whom the masculine feels responsible. And so your family may involve, you know, like some other person or something. And looking at that from a perspective of, oh, okay, so we're still going to have a family dynamic. It's not a bad thing. It's still family, right? We're forming a family together. That's the positive side or whatever, or a different side. It's about looking at like other perspectives and sort of like the world standing still in the meantime to give you a chance to do that. Look at things from a different perspective. You're at a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself. So I've been saying this the whole time too, like your whole true self and honest and all of that, while you're taking this step back. And what do I want? So if this picture is not painted the way that I would have hoped, right? Your soulmate may differ from usual type of expectations. Picture's not painted the way I would have hoped, but I still want this. I still want him. I still want, you know, or I don't, you know, it's whatever the case is, being honest with you, with yourself. The Awakening card is the Hangman in the traditional tarot, and it represents the sign of Pisces or other water sign. From the Tony Carmine Salerno Universal Love Oracle, the masculine is getting this card a second time. He needs to let go of a bunch of baggage from the past in order to give way for this fresh start for him. for you, listening. So it's pretty much what it looks like. You're getting that divine guidance and you're fully surrendering to it. This woman is in complete and utter surrender. She is nude. Her eyes are closed. That you can't be any more vulnerable than that. So that's full surrender. She's listening to that divine guidance that she's getting. So you're going to get some too. And the universe would hope that you would be that way as well. Completely receptive to it. From the romance angels to the masculine. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Well, if the red flags are any that are on this table, we got the Ace of Fire. So that's a big, illuminated sign. Hey, look at me. I'm a brand new start for you. We got here at the foundation, the 10 of Fire. Hey, look at me. Yeah, it's been tough, but I'm on my way out of here. It's going to get a lot easier on you. We've got the 4 of Fire. Hey, look at me. I'm a commitment. I'm a marriage, a wedding. I'm a new home, I'm something awesome that brings you peace and contentment and emotional fulfillment. Or lastly, 9 of Fire. Right? I got it in me to keep going. I got the strength. Oh, I forgot there's another red flag here. I've got the strength and the wherewithal, everything I need to keep powering through and to keep going. That's the red flags. Lastly, but not least, of course, romance angels to you. You deserve love. You are lovable. So use that, consider that when you're taking a step back and considering, that other perspective as far as with regard to what it is you want, and then free yourself from any and everything that's been holding you back from it. That's in your power. That's in your control, and you have the strength to do that. I hope that you find your reading helpful and that you enjoy it. Namaste, Angel.